Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today, I'm having Greek yogurt, peanut butter, and some frozen blueberries. All right, let's talk about training minimalism in the novice. And this becomes a confusing topic because for a while, and what I mean by for a while is in the middle of my YouTube career here. Well, it's not really a career at this point, it's second income. But in the middle of my YouTube career for a while, I did promote minimalism, and then I reabandoned it and went back to what I had been originally promoting, which was conjugate or novices doing minimalist type programming, but adding more accessory work in as they go. And what people need to understand is that minimalism is not ideal for anyone who isn't a novice. And what do we mean by training minimalism? We mean, moderate volumes using just a handful of exercises. In other words, basic movements. Like you might only be doing 4, 5, 6 exercises. Perfect example would be something like Strongless 5x5, which was the skeleton structure that I put together, my original novice 5x5, all of it added accessory work to. They basically have you do 5 lifts. You do 5 exercises, 3 of them every workout, 3 times a week, with moderate amounts of volume, right? Because it's a 5x5 on the squat, bench press, overhead press, rows, and 1 set every other workout on deadlifts. But again, you do 3 exercises and you're done. The reason this works for novices is that what you will have happen is that a lot of young men come into a gym and they don't build any sort of base. They only work on the show muscles. What does that mean? Chest, delts, arms. Right, that's what they come in and do. And as a result of that, they don't build most of the muscle mass of their body. Right? 2/3 of the muscle in their body gets minimal to zero work, and what happens? They stay small and maybe look like in the mirror from the front. They work out a little bit. Everything else gets neglected. A lot of gym bros still neglect these movements. You see gym bros who look like they lift from some angles, who still have weak lats oftentimes, right? Weak lats, weak lower body. So 2/3 of the muscles in their body are underdeveloped, but they do have chest, shoulders, arms. But they're not big and they're not strong. And that's the point. And novices will come in and do that, and they'll neglect these other things. They'll have muscle imbalances, and they'll make almost no progress. They also forget is that most of the gym bros who are big, who do that other stuff, are definitely not natty. If they look big, they're not natty. These programs were developed to get them to build a base, to actually work the whole body, to get strong, to put a foundation on. Again, squatting, deadlifting, rows, all that stuff. That's the whole point, to build those things up. It doesn't work for long. When I talk about true novice programs, minimalist ones like that, like 12 weeks. So even my Ice Cream Fitness 2.0, which is a minimalist program, is intended to be run about 12 weeks. People say, what do you do after that? Well, you need to start adding supplemental work. You need more exercises. My original 5x5 was intended to address that. Right? It just throws the stuff in from day one. There's tricep work, bicep work, extra low back work. But it ends up being a lot of volume for a lot of people. It was too aggressive of a program for about half of people who ran it because the volumes went too high. But here's the thing. Novices are going to need to add more work in. They're going to need to add more work. And so even if someone was coming in doing the 2.0 that I put out, I would highly recommend that after running it for 12 weeks, if they're a true rank novice, they built a little bit of a base on their squats, deadlifts, benching. They need to start adding more small work in. I would add good mornings. I would add chin-ups. All right, I would add good mornings and chin-ups pretty quickly. You can follow the same progression. You could add those in. They need the extra bicep work, extra lat work. If they wanted to throw in laterals for their side delts or snatch grip high pulls, even better. I'd add more tricep work. And I mean smaller tricep exercises, press downs, maybe dumbbell extensions. Start building up their triceps directly because they'll need these things. And that's the problem we have with some of these true minimalist programs. They do not address this. And people say, oh, no, all of that stuff will get big still. No, it won't. No, it won't. Not on a normal 5x5. Right? You're going to have neglected delts. And no overhead press is not enough. You're going to have neglected arms. The muscles these kids want to push, that they normally obsess over, don't actually get that much training in these programs. And they go in the opposite direction of saying, we're just going to make sure that you build everything up to build a base. And then you can start adding this other stuff in. Here's the other problem with trying to push a minimalist program long. You get overuse injuries quicker. Okay. You guys see how my clients train. We all run conjugate. My ranked novices run linear for a little while. My new people, then we take them to conjugate. You guys have seen enough vlogs of my people. You know how they lift. See how I train. We do train all those things, and we rotate movements. We don't just come in and squat heavy on back squats. In fact, we rarely do that. I would rather build up all the muscles with other movements. And that can include machines, right? If machines are your best option to build up your legs in addition to your squat, by all means use them. By all means use them. You're going to have less injuries because now we have other movement patterns being worked in. We're working multiple angles. We're not just working a handful of big movements with the exact same angles over and over and over and over. Okay. Overuse is the number one cause of injuries in the gym. So again, the problems we run into with minimalism, you're just trying to beat these same basic exercises all the time. All right, as you get stronger and the bar weight goes up, that'll start putting wear and tear on you. That could be avoided just by rotating movements more. Smaller muscles that guys are going to want to train to look like they lift are going to get neglected. Okay, because let's be fair here. Unless people are training specifically and only for a sport, most people who come in and lift want to look like they lift. Let's be honest about that. Kind of sucks to be really strong and not look like you lift. So again, these minimalist programs are there to build a base, to help the novice work their whole body, not just their shoulders and arms. Right? Not just their shoulders and arms. But the problem is if you try to run them too long, you end up not having shoulders and arms. You end up beat up, you end up banged up, and then they just stall and spin their wheels because they're not doing the supplemental work that they need to address the weak points that are occurring on these big lifts that they're doing. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.